Here we are for another edition of me answering your email. Rick answers his email finally, and today we're starting it off with an email from Sandy. Sandy writes that she's backing up her tons of folders with digital photos, and good for you for backing up, because you have to back up your stuff. You're not going to last forever on these computers. They eventually have problems. Have a backup plan. So thank you, Sandy, for giving me a chance to get that out first thing. But she's wondering, do I need to transfer the thumbs.db file? And she is doing it just in case. Thumbs.db is a small hidden file that is put in by Windows so that you can see the thumbnails in your folders. It is not necessary to copy it, but if you're just doing the entire folder, it's a lot easier just to copy it because it's so small than it is to go in and try to pick it out of each folder. Jose has a question about a company called Finally Fast and a utility that they sell / let you download. Here is their website right here. Finally Fast is just another one of the gazillion utilities out there that allow you to scan your registry, scan your temporary files, look for adware and spyware. You don't need it, Jose. You do not need it. Follow the directions I have on my website at helpmerick.com on securing your computer. That's all you have to do. The more crap that you put on your computer, the slower it's going to be, no matter what the name of the product is. Always use just the minimum amount of utilities as possible, because by adding more of this junk on your computer, you're just asking for trouble. Brent has a problem with a C drive. His hard drive is getting full, and he's added an external hard drive, and he's wondering, can he simply just cut and paste his photos and his iTunes to the new drive to free up room on the C drive? You can with the photos. Be very careful. I would first suggest just dragging them over and make a duplicate copy once they're there, then delete them off the C drive. With the iTunes, there are some specific things you're going to want to do to make sure that your iTunes library and all of the settings you have in the library follow along when you transfer it to the external drive. And if you just go to itunes.com, then you're going to find the specific information you need to properly get that transferred. Joe's writing in. He uses a Hewlett-Packard computer with Windows Vista and has a 200 gigabyte external hard drive. 2 external hard drive questions in a row. Unusual. He's using the auto backup built into Vista, and he's found out that he's filled up his external drive, and he's wondering what he can do to free up some space. Can he just delete previous backups? And is there a way to tell the backup to overwrite the previous backup? The answer is yes, you can delete previous backups. The other answer is no, you cannot tell the Windows backup to delete previous backups. It'll just keep stacking them up one after another. I would again prefer, instead of using the built-in Windows backup with Vista, use another product like Second Copy is a great one that I like from secondcopy.com. Another good product is one from NTI called NTI Backup, simply enough. And those are some good products that are third-party that I would use instead of the auto backup built into Vista. Gil writes in with a question about his newer 2.8 gigahertz computer with a gig of RAM, although a smallish hard drive, and he's had some problems, it appears, with spyware. In fact, 472 spywares, viruses, trojans, etc. And he cannot change. He gets a problem when he goes into the screensaver. He gets an error, and he can't go in and change the screensaver or his background. Well, you come to the right place, Gil. Go to my website, helpmerick.com, search for wallpaper. That's all you got to do. Just search for wallpaper. The first thing you're going to find is how to delete a registry key that will fix this particular problem for you. But it's not a problem with Novell, as he goes in later in the email and asks about. I don't think it has anything to do with Novell at all. It has to do with the fact that you were infected from the get-go and you've got some things you still have to clean up. So search for that on my website and you should be in good shape. Carla is trying to fax from her computer. She just recently joined the many throngs of folks who have gotten rid of their landline, and instead she's just using her cell phone as her main phone line. But she does have the need to send the occasional fax. But when she went in and tried to use the fax wizard, it gave her an error. And yes, Carla, the reason why is because you do not have a phone line attached. I was curious for you, Carla, so I went ahead and I looked around the web a little bit, and I found this website here called faxzero.com. And FaxZero lets you send short faxes anywhere in the United States and Canada for free. It looks like you can attach a document or a PDF file to the fax, or you can just simply compose a fax and send it directly through their site. So that's faxzero.com. eFax is a service that for sending faxes is going to cost you some money per month, as well as another popular online service called myfax.com. Henry writes in with a question about an old Toshiba laptop that he bought, that he's trying to use it to make a dual boot machine with Windows XP and some form of Linux. But he's run into probably the biggest hurdle in all of the Linux distributions like Ubuntu, and that's wireless internet. They don't always work right out of the box with Linux, and you do have to go through some settings changes, some downloads and things like that to get it to work in some cases. So you have gone to the forums. It looks like you didn't give me the exact model number of your Belkin, but if you type in at the ubuntuforums.org, if you type in your exact Belkin model number, you should get some good step-by-steps, and if you follow them close enough, or not close enough, if you follow them exactly, you should get your wireless up and running. Getting wireless to work with Ubuntu or any version of Linux is a tough thing to do in some cases, but with each subsequent upgrade of Ubuntu and with more people using it, wireless is getting easier and easier, so hang in there. Lon sent me an email with a link to one of our local colleges on a survey he was trying to fill out, but I looked and that particular survey is now gone. So maybe it was a private survey sent to you, Lon, but unfortunately it's a question I can't answer for you because I can't look at the form. Kathy writes in that she has a question about using Adobe Flash Player and ActiveX, and she's heard that ActiveX is a method that a lot of hackers will use and bad guys will use to put spyware and garbage onto your computer, and you're right. And the way to get around that is don't use Internet Explorer. Instead, use Mozilla Firefox. If you use Mozilla Firefox, it does not have any ActiveX controls in it, and you won't get a lot of the garbage or any of the garbage that comes in through Internet Explorer. Carolyn writes in with a few questions about AVG antivirus. She just updated to the new version 8, and it found 55 infections on her particular computer, and she's wondering, how do I delete them after it found them? Well, you're going to pull up your AVG, and you do that by double-clicking the icon by your clock, or the icon on your desktop, or in the Programs menu. You'll get this screen. You're going to go to the top. You're going to click History from the menus. Then you'll click Virus Vault. When the vault comes up, it'll show you anything that it's found. And at the very bottom right-hand corner, there's an option that says Empty the Vault. After you click Empty the Vault, everything that it was in there is gone. And that's all you need to do. Now, you also asked, how do you know if it's working? Once you double-click on the AVG, you also get their little status overview, and as long as you have these green check marks on the status overview, that means everything is active, everything's up to date, and it's fine. AVG is automatically set to do daily scans and daily updates on its own, so you don't need to worry about that either. Eve writes in and says, Excite Email has changed their site, and we keep getting the message that pop-ups won't allow a message to come through. And she says she's disabled the pop-up blocker, but it still will not come through. Chances are, if you have the Yahoo toolbar or the Windows Live Messenger toolbar or the Google toolbar, any one of these toolbars you can add to Internet Explorer, which I don't recommend any of them, then you could have a pop-up blocker enabled on one of those that are preventing your email from coming up. So check that first, Eve. Don is joining one of the throngs of folks who's not properly protected on their computer, and if you're using a Windows computer and you're not protected, you're going to have the same problem that Don is. Don says, we're getting messages from Antivirus 2009 and a blue screen saying that we have detected spyware problems, which aren't true, because this product itself is a spyware, and you need to get it off of there. And it says it shuts down, and after a few seconds comes back on, and the same screen comes up again. Can you tell us what's going on and what to do about it? You're infected badly. Antivirus 2009 is a tough one to get rid of. You're going to want to go to helpmerick.com and search for spyware. You're going to find a couple different results. The one you'll want you to click on is called extricating spyware. You might even need to do this on another person's computer, because when it's infected this badly, I've noticed that some of these viruses will actually go in and change the links and change the advertising on legitimate web pages. So you probably want to do this on someone else's computer, download the directions and the tools that I outlined there, and get yourself back up and running. Thanks again for visiting helpmerick.com and my YouTube channel. If you have questions about your computer, send them to me via my website at helpmerick.com, and I will answer your question as well.